Okay, first grade. So today our lesson is going to be split into two, and we are going to be reading the story, The Little Half Chick, or Medio Pollito. Okay. So at the end of the lesson, you will review and identify the characters of stories, including characters, plot, setting, and moral. You will demonstrate an understanding of the word waste and the phrase do unto others as you would have them do unto you. We've heard that one before, haven't we? You will sequence the events of a folk tale, and you will choose an image that shows what Medio Pollito becomes at the end of the story. Your vocabulary for this lesson is abandoned, brood, stream, stubborn, and waste. Abandoned is a verb, and it means to be left behind, okay? I abandoned the mirror on my wall when we moved. So that means that when whoever is speaking, when they moved from one house to another house, they left their mirror at the old house. They left it behind, okay? So abandon means to leave behind. All right, the next one is brood, and brood is a noun. A brood is a family of young animals or children, particularly birds hatched at one time. So do you see this brood in this picture? That is a family of young, I think those are geese or swans or something, some kind of duck, that hatched all around the same time, okay? An example of using that in a sentence might be, our entire brood will be in town for Thanksgiving. So if I said my entire brood will be in town for Thanksgiving, that means my whole family is going to be together for Thanksgiving time, okay? Stream. Stream is a noun, and a stream is a small body of running water or a brook, okay? Using that in a sentence, I might say, Raina found several small fish in the stream near her house. Do you see this picture of the stream? Okay. Oh, I like this one. Stubborn. Stubborn is an adjective, okay? Stubborn means refusing to change your mind. I bet some of you guys are stubborn. I know I was. Well, I still am a little bit. So a way we could use this in a sentence might be, even though there are a lot of other options, my little sister is stubborn and only eats peanut butter and jelly. Okay, so they can't get their little sister to eat anything other than peanut butter and jelly. Waste. Waste is a verb, and it means to use up something carelessly or foolishly. An example would be, Ying made sure that the paint jars were closed tightly so they wouldn't spill and waste her paint. Okay. Or if you look at this picture, it looks like someone wasted a bunch of food. So they didn't eat all their food. They just threw it away. Okay. All right. So the past several read-alouds that you've heard have been fables. What are the characteristics of a fable again? They're short, they're fiction, which means they're made up, and they're made up to teach us a moral or lesson, and they often have animals that act like people, so they often have personification, okay? Today you're going to hear a longer story called The Little Half Chick, or Medio Pollito, and it is a Spanish folktale, okay? A folktale is a story that someone made up a long time ago, and it has been told again and again. It was first told to family members or friends, and then later written down for many people to enjoy, okay? A folktale is fiction because it is made up. Okay, it is made up from someone's imagination, and it is not real. Are folktales real? No, folktales are fiction, just like fables. They are made up. All right, look at this picture. Let me see if I can get my pointer. Look at this picture for me. What is in this picture? Do you know what this picture is of? This is an instrument called a weather vane that you often see on top of buildings, particularly on farms. Have any of you ever seen one of these? Do you know what we might use this for? Weather vanes help us tell which way the wind is blowing, all right? Okay, now, hang on, I'm trying to move my face so that I'm not in the way. Now I want you to look at this picture really quick, okay? What do you see in this picture? This chick in the center is a little, this chick in the center is a baby chicken named Medio Pollito. Can you say that? Medio Pollito. Try one more time. Medio Pollito. Okay. Medio Pollito is Spanish for little half chick. This folktale may have first been told in the country of Spain. I want you to look closely and see if you can tell me how Medio Pollito might have gotten his name. Look at him. How do you think he might have gotten his name? All right. I want you to listen carefully to hear the story of how the weather vane came to be. I also want you to remember that while I'm reading, you're listening for those vocabulary words. Remember, our vocabulary words were abandoned, which means to be left behind, brood, a family of young animals or children, stream, a small body of running water, stubborn, refusing to change your mind, and waste, to use up something carelessly or foolishly. So if you hear one of those 5 words, you're going to raise your hand, right? All right. Once there was a hen who had a large brood or family of little chicks. They were all fine, plump little birds except the youngest. He was quite unlike his brothers and sisters. He looked as though he had been cut right in half. All of his brothers and sisters had 2 wings and 2 legs and 2 eyes, but he only had 1 wing, 1 leg, and 1 eye. And he only had half a head and half a beak. His mother shook her head sadly as she looked at him. "Poor thing," she said. "He is only half of a chick." The mother hen called her youngest chick Medio Pollito, which is Spanish for half chick. So why is he called Medio Pollito, guys? Because he's only half a chick, right? He's only 1/2 of his body. She thought that he would never be able to take care of himself. She decided that she would have to keep him at home and look after him. But Medio Pollito had a different idea. Medio Pollito turned out to be very stubborn. Stubborn means that he would not change how he did things, and he was an independent little chick. Even though his brothers and sisters did just what they were told to do, Medio Pollito did not. When his mother called for him to come back to the chicken house, he would hide in the cornfield. Sometimes he pretended that he could not hear her because, of course, he only had 1 ear. The older he became, the more willful he became. He would not listen to his mother, and he was often rude to his brothers and sisters, even though they were always extra nice to him. So he's not being very nice. He's not being very nice to his brothers and sisters or his mom, right? If he's not listening to his mom, and he's not being very nice, and if he's being rude to his brothers and sisters, he's not being very nice either, right? So is he a nice chick or not really? Not really. Okay. Oopsie. There we go. One day, Medio Pollito strutted up to his mother and made an announcement. "I am tired of the life in this dull barnyard. I am going to Madrid to dine or have dinner with the king. Madrid is a city in Spain. Do you think that it's a good idea for him to go off by himself and leave his family? I don't really think so, but let's see what happens, okay? Madrid? Exclaimed his mother. Why, that is a long journey, even for a grown up. You aren't old enough to go to Madrid yet. Wait a bit. When you're a little older, we can go to the city all together. But Medio Pollito had made up his mind. He would not listen to his mother or his brothers or sisters, all of whom pleaded with him to stay. I am going to Madrid to dine with the king, he declared. And when I get there, I will make my fortune and live in a big house. Perhaps I will even invite the rest of you to pay me a short visit sometime. With that, he turned and hopped off on his one leg. His mother ran after him and called out, Be sure to be kind to everyone you meet. But Medio Pollito did not listen. He was in a hurry and, as usual, was only thinking of himself. Sounds kind of selfish. Medio Pollito hopped on until he came to a little stream of water that was almost choked with weeds. A stream is a small body of running water. When a stream is full of weeds, it is also hard for the water to move. Okay? So, do you see all of the weeds that are in the water? Those weeds are making it hard for the stream to move, right? Because think about it this way. If you were trying to go through a hallway, if there's a whole bunch of stuff in the hallway, it's going to be harder for you to get through that hallway, right? Okay. Oh, Medio Pollito, the stream called out. Please help me by pulling some of these weeds so I can flow freely. Do you think Medio Pollito is going to help the stream? Why or why not? Let's see. Help you? Exclaimed Medio Pollito, tossing his head and shaking the few feathers in his tail. Do you think I have time to waste to do that sort of thing? Remember, waste means to use something up carelessly and foolishly. Medio Pollito does not want to waste or use up his time helping the stream. Help yourself and don't bother busy travelers like me. I am off to Madrid to dine with the king. And away he hopped. So, did he help the stream? No, he didn't. Why did he not help the stream? What was his reason? He said he didn't want to waste his time, right? But was that very nice of him? It was not very nice of him. Okay. A little later, Medio Pollito came to an abandoned fire that some campers left burning in the woods. Remember, abandoned means to be left behind. Okay. Oh, Medio Pollito, the fire said. Please toss some sticks on me so I won't burn out. Who does Medio Pollito meet after the water? Look at the picture to help you if you need help. The fire. What does the fire ask him to do? He asks him to put some sticks on him so it doesn't burn out, right? Pooh, said Medio Pollito. Do you think I have time to waste to do that sort of thing? I am off to Madrid to dine with the king. And away he hopped. So, did Medio Pollito help the fire? No, he didn't. Why not? Because he didn't want to waste his time, right? But was that a very nice thing to do, to not help? Was not very nice. Okay. The next morning, as he was nearing Madrid, Medio Pollito came upon a large chestnut tree in which the wind had gotten tangled up. Oh, Medio Pollito, said the wind, won't you climb up here and help me get myself untangled? So who is he meeting after the water and the fire? You can use the picture to help you if you need help. He met the wind. Do you think he's going to help the wind? Why or why not? Let's see if you're right. It's your own fault for going so high up there, said Medio Pollito. And besides, I don't have time to waste to do that sort of thing. I am off to Madrid to dine with the king. And away he hopped. When he entered the city, Medio Pollito saw the beautiful royal palace. He was so excited to meet the king, he hopped right into the courtyard without hesitation. Hesitation means without stopping. The king's cook spotted him and yelled, "You will make a nice addition to the king's dinner." Is the cook inviting him to dinner, or does he want to eat Medio Pollito? Let's see if you're right. The cook scooped up Medio Pollito in his hand. He took him back to the kitchen and tossed him into a pot of water. What do you think the cook is making? Let's see. Then he set the pot on the stove. Uh-oh. Medio Pollito was getting very wet. "Oh, water," he cried. "Don't soak me like this." But the water replied, "You would not help me when I was a little stream choking with weeds, so why should I help you now?" So who is Medio Pollito asking for help? He was asking the water for help, right? Does the water help? What did the water say to him? The water said that he wasn't going to help him, right? Why is the water not going to help? Because Medio Pollito did not help the water when the water needed help, right? Okay, then the fire on the stove began to heat the water. Medio Pollito felt very hot. "Oh, fire!" he cried. "Don't cook me like this." But the fire replied, "You would not help me when I was about to burn out, so why should I help you now?" So who is Medio Pollito asking for help? The fire. Does the fire help? Why not? Because when Medio Pollito met the fire in the woods, Medio Pollito would not help the fire, right? So the fire doesn't want to help Medio Pollito now. The fire got hotter and hotter. The heat was so unbearable that Medio Pollito grew more and more desperate. Desperate means to lose hope. Just then, the cook raised the lid of the pot to see if the soup was ready. "What's this?" said the cook. "I have overcooked the chicken. He is all blackened and burnt to a crisp. I can't serve this to the king." The cook grabbed Medio Pollito and threw him out the kitchen window. With a gust, the wind caught him and carried him away so fast he could hardly breathe. So, did Medio Pollito have dinner with the king? "Oh, wind!" Medio Pollito cried. "Don't push me around like this. Please set me down." But the wind replied, "You would not help me when I was caught in the tree, so why should I help you now?" So who is Medio Pollito asking for help from now? The wind. Does the wind help him? Nope. Why isn't the wind helping him? Because Medio Pollito would not help the wind when the wind was stuck in the tree. You remember that? And so the wind's not going to help him because Medio Pollito did not help the wind. And with that, the wind lifted Medio Pollito up in the air to the top of a building and left him stuck atop the cupola. A cupola is a small domed structure on the highest point of a building. And that is where you can find Medio Pollito to this very day. If you go to Madrid and look for the tallest church in town, you will see a black weather vane in the shape of half a chicken turning in the wind. That is Medio Pollito, the chick who would not help others. Now he stays there and helps everyone by showing them which way the wind is blowing. Forever. Do you see Medio Pollito in this picture? Okay, remember this is called a weather vane. This whole thing, you see the arrow? That's pointing which way the wind is blowing. All right, guys. I have one quick question for you, and then we are done for the day for CKLA. I want you to hold up the number of fingers for the number of things Medio Pollito meets and won't help on his way to Madrid. If you're holding up 3 fingers, you're right, because the first thing he came across was the water, remember? He came across a stream, and the stream wanted him to help by pulling the weeds out so that the stream could flow freely. And Medio Pollito said, nope, I don't have time for that. And then Medio Pollito saw the what? The fire, and he would not help the fire. And then he saw what? What was tangled in the tree? The wind. Did he help the wind? No, he did not. So he saw the water, then the fire, then the wind, and he wouldn't help any of them, which that was not a very nice thing for him to do, right? All right, guys, thanks for listening. I hope you liked it. I'll see you later.